Welcome back to Discovered Top 5, the channel where we dive into the most fascinating, jaw-dropping, and sometimes shocking lists you never knew you needed to know about. If you're looking for unique, interesting, and thought-provoking content, you've come to the right place. Each week, we bring you a new set of top 5 lists that will keep you entertained, informed, and maybe even leave you a little surprised. From the most extraordinary cities to visit, the world's most dangerous places, to quirky facts about everyday life, Discover Top 5 explores the world through the lens of the most intriguing and exciting topics. Whether you're a fan of history, travel, mysteries, or just love learning new things, we've got something for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an adventure with us. We've got tons of amazing content lined up that you won't want to miss. So, grab a seat, sit back, and let's explore today's list. Because here on Discover Top 5, we're all about bringing you the best of the best, and sometimes the most unexpected surprises. Are you ready to discover the top 5? Let's dive in.
And progressive reputation is facing a growing housing crisis. The country's housing shortage has reached alarming levels, with an estimated shortfall of about 41,000 dwellings in 2025. This shortage has been fueled by decades of questionable housing policies, rising inequality, and the rising influence of foreign investors who have driven up housing prices. The situation has only worsened in recent years. According to Statistics Netherlands (CBS), on January 1, 2024, there were roughly 33,000 people aged 18 to 65 living without a permanent home, marking an increase of over 20% from the year before. This rise in homelessness is directly linked to the scarcity of affordable housing options. While social relief programs like night shelters and residential shelters are available, their effectiveness remains under scrutiny. Despite efforts to provide social housing, such as temporary accommodation options in cities like Amsterdam, the real solutions seem elusive. Government policies, especially in the early 2010s, have failed to stem the tide of homelessness. The government abolished the Housing and Planning Ministry, allowing the sale of housing corporation stock, which resulted in a significant percentage of homes in the largest cities being owned by private investors. This, combined with the drying up of subsidies for house building, has further exacerbated the housing crisis. Yet, initiatives like the Start Block former Verit in Amsterdam, which provides temporary accommodation while fostering community and multicultural exchange, offer some hope. However, these programs are small-scale solutions in the face of a much larger, systemic problem. Italy, a country celebrated for its rich history, culture, and cuisine, has been grappling with a growing homelessness crisis, particularly in its major cities. Rome, Milan, and Naples are facing significant housing shortages, and with high unemployment rates, many Italians are finding themselves struggling to find affordable housing. Homelessness in Italy is often linked to the country's economic difficulties, but social and policy factors play an equally important role. The Italian housing market is severely impacted by regional disparities, with northern cities faring better than southern ones. The economic downturn and austerity measures have worsened these conditions, leaving many Italians, especially young people and migrants, without stable housing. Estimates suggest that there are tens of thousands of homeless people across Italy, a number that is steadily rising. Various government programs, including emergency shelters and social housing initiatives, have been introduced to help alleviate the problem, but they simply cannot keep up with the demand. One of the core challenges is the country's aging infrastructure. Many buildings in need of renovation are either too expensive to repair or are falling apart, and the cost of these repairs is often passed on to tenants.
This financial burden makes it even harder for low-income families to maintain stable housing. Despite these challenges, there are some hopeful signs. Social enterprises and nonprofit organizations are stepping in to fill the gap with initiatives like Housing First, which prioritizes stable housing before addressing issues such as addiction or unemployment. These programs have shown success, but their long-term effectiveness will depend on continued investment and collaboration among various sectors of society. Latvia, a small Baltic nation, is facing a significant homelessness crisis that is hard to ignore, particularly when considering the size of the population. As of 2023, more than 6,000 people were staying in shelters across the country, with a large portion of this group concentrated in the capital, Riga. This number has been steadily increasing by around 1,500 people each year for the past 13 years. Economic hardship is a major driver of homelessness in Latvia. High inflation, rising interest rates, and the lack of affordable housing options are pushing more and more people into homelessness. The government has been criticized for failing to provide sufficient support to address this crisis, leaving local authorities to tackle the problem with limited resources. Latvia also faces significant social challenges. Many of its homeless population suffer from addiction or mental health issues, which are exacerbated by the lack of access to health care. Additionally, there are reports of discrimination against homeless people, further hindering their chances of reintegration into society. However, there are small signs of progress. Initiatives like the Riga Central Libraries program provide social services and support to the homeless. The European Parliament has set ambitious goals to eradicate homelessness within 5 years, and while progress has been slow, this goal offers hope for the future. Still, the road to success is long, and the problem is deep-rooted. Iceland, known for its stunning landscapes, glaciers, and volcanoes, is experiencing a growing homelessness issue, despite having a smaller population. The real estate market has been booming, and housing prices are soaring. For many Icelanders, this means that finding affordable housing is becoming nearly impossible. One of the main drivers of homelessness in Iceland is the skyrocketing real estate prices, which are outpacing the ability of lower-income individuals to find housing. Rising inflation and interest rates are also contributing factors, making it more difficult for Icelandic households to make ends meet. For many, one misstep in managing finances can push them into homelessness. While Icelandic social services are generally well regarded, they have struggled to keep up with the increasing demand for support. The government has been working to address the issue, but progress has been slow. Despite these challenges, there is a promising new approach being explored, the Housing First model. This approach focuses on providing stable housing before addressing issues like addiction or mental health, showing promise as a solution to the homelessness crisis in Iceland. Belgium, known for its delicious chocolates and waffles, is also grappling with a significant homelessness crisis. Brussels, the capital, has seen a 96% increase in the homeless population since 2008, with other smaller municipalities also facing similar issues. Migration is one of the key factors contributing to homelessness in Belgium. Many undocumented migrants find themselves unable to access government assistance, leaving them vulnerable and often homeless. In addition to the migration issue, the economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, along with rising energy prices, has pushed more and more people into poverty. As a result, the number of homeless people in Belgium has continued to rise, with approximately 19,470 people in Flanders, 9,550 in Wallonia, and 192 in the German-speaking community. Despite these challenges, organizations like Citizens Refugee Support and the Platform are working to provide beds and support for vulnerable groups, particularly migrants. However, there is still a long way to go in addressing the crisis. The Belgian government has been urged to provide more funding for housing and social services, but the problem remains complex and requires systemic change to solve. Slovakia, a country known for its beautiful landscapes and rich history, is also facing a growing homelessness issue. While often overshadowed by other social challenges, homelessness in Slovakia is a significant problem that cannot be ignored. One of the main contributors to this issue is the lack of affordable housing. Many low-income families in Slovakia simply cannot find housing within their budget, leaving them vulnerable to homelessness. In addition to the housing shortage, unemployment and poverty rates have exacerbated the situation. Many people are unable to secure stable housing because they lack the financial means to do so. Social services in Slovakia are stretched thin, unable to meet the growing demand for support. And many homeless individuals find themselves without access to essential services like healthcare and ill support. The Slovakian government has recognized the need for action and has implemented programs aimed at reducing homelessness, but progress has been slow. Without significant policy changes and increased funding for social services, the problem is likely to persist.
In response to the crisis, a number of cities have initiated programs aimed at reducing homelessness, including the Housing First approach, which prioritizes providing stable housing before addressing other factors like employment and mental health. Some cities have also introduced more emergency shelters and temporary housing options. However, homelessness in the U.S. remains a major problem, with significant challenges ahead in addressing systemic issues like income inequality, lack of affordable housing, and insufficient mental health care services. France, known for its rich cultural history and iconic landmarks, is also experiencing a significant rise in homelessness. The problem is particularly acute in major cities like Paris, where the homeless population has surged in recent years. High rental prices, economic inequality, and the lack of affordable housing are all contributing factors to the growing crisis. In the last decade, homelessness in France has increased dramatically, with estimates suggesting that more than 300,000 people are currently without stable housing. While the French government has made efforts to address the issue, including the construction of more social housing and providing temporary shelter options, these measures have not kept pace with the growing demand. Additionally, discrimination and the stigma against certain groups, such as migrants and the elderly, have further compounded the problem. To tackle the issue, some cities have begun experimenting with alternative housing models, such as socially mixed housing and cooperative housing, where individuals can live in affordable housing units while contributing to their upkeep. However, these programs are still in their infancy, and widespread solutions to the homelessness crisis remain elusive. The United Kingdom, known for its diverse culture and historical landmarks, is facing a homelessness crisis that has reached alarming levels. Major cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham are grappling with rising homelessness, fueled by high rents, a shortage of affordable housing, and the financial strain caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The UK government's austerity measures and cuts to welfare programs have further exacerbated the problem, leaving more people vulnerable to losing their homes. In 2023, it was estimated that more than 250,000 people in the UK were homeless, with many forced to sleep rough on the streets or seek shelter in overcrowded temporary accommodation. A significant factor contributing to this crisis is the shortage of affordable housing. With property prices continuing to rise, many individuals and families simply cannot afford to keep up with their housing costs, and the lack of social housing options has made it difficult for low-income individuals to find stable homes.
Government programs have been implemented to address homelessness, such as the Everyone In initiative, which temporarily housed thousands of rough sleepers during the pandemic. While this initiative showed promise, there are concerns that it has not been enough to provide long-term solutions. Additionally, mental health issues, substance abuse, and domestic violence are common factors that contribute to homelessness in the UK, further complicating efforts to find sustainable solutions. While nonprofit organizations and local charities have been working tirelessly to provide support and emergency accommodation, the homelessness crisis in the UK remains a significant challenge. The need for a more comprehensive and long-term approach to tackling this issue has never been more urgent. Well, there you have it. Today's list is all wrapped up. We hope you learned something new, and maybe even discovered a few things that you didn't expect. Discover Top 5 is all about bringing you the most fascinating and surprising facts, and we're so glad you joined us on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out and lets us know you want more content like this. And if you're new down here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a new Top 5 countdown. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of today's Top 5 lists surprised you the most? Is there something else you'd like us to explore in a future video? Drop your ideas and comments down below. We love reading them and getting your input on what topics to dive into next. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, as we've got a whole lot more content waiting for you. From jaw-dropping facts to mind-blowing lists, there's always something new to discover here on Discover Top 5. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay curious, keep discovering, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and have an amazing day.